gonna be in the building. They were basketball players, work with kids, do everything. And then we got author Ivy Lee. She gonna be in the building as well. And what's been going on, Candace? What's been going on, boys?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Everything.
Y'all so vague.
Everything.
I mean, what's been going on?
We trying to get our communities together, trying to help get people's financial affairs in order, make sure that people are trying to put back in instead of taking out.
That's great. That's great. What about you, Poison? You trying to get your community together and put back in and not take out too much?
That's a great idea. I'm down with that.
You down with that? The Poison be just like, yeah, whatever. That's whatever. I'm cool.
I'm still in the shower and get out the shower on time so we can make that bus.
She be giving you a hard fight.
Jesus.
How old is she now?
70.
70.
Yeah.
I know she was in here last week and she liked to drank everything. If she could have drank the alcohol, she could have drank the alcohol, but I wouldn't go let that happen. She tried to take a whole bottle. She was trying to take ginger ale. You can't take all the ginger ale. What's wrong with her?
So what's been going on with you, D?
Yeah.
What's new in your world?
Nothing. I just got to talk about some stuff.
You grew your
Like-
beard back.
Yeah, because I was looking like old young nigga.
I thought it was nice.
I look weird to me. To me, I look weird. I looked weird. I didn't have a beard at one point, but I had to grow it back. And when I grew it to cut it off, I felt naked around the face. Like plus my face fatter than normal. So
Weird for weird, that's always a plus.
what?
Weird for weird, that's always a plus.
Weird for weird.
A weird person feeling weird. How could you go wrong?
You can't.
I'm glad you enunciated the words correctly today, because last week you had issues.
Well, at least I got people's name right.
I only got one person name wrong the whole time, so y'all trying y'all best to come with these jokes, but y'all not even funny. But I got to talk about DJs. So I had an experience the other day. It's a karaoke DJs. For some reason they get these people that do stuff in Cleveland get this arrogance about themselves, like they doing something. And a dude I know, he kind of got too lively with himself. He was just like, he just went hard. Just, I run this, I do this, I made this night. And the bar owner, trying to be cool and everything, and he trying to keep it respectful and everything. But the guy just keep talking on the mic at his bar to the crowd, like F this dude. This is my, I run this. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have nothing. And then he just kept trying to be cool about it. But eventually the dude burst. He couldn't take it anymore. He grabbed the mic. It's like, you know what? He won't be here no more. It's 12 of him. It's only one this. I ain't gonna name the bars and nothing. But he was like, I ain't on it.
With my moderate to severe Crohn's disease, I was always searching for ways to manage my symptoms.
Try to log on to YouTube just to check out the stream. But so he kept going, and then the guy just started flipping on like, man, F you, fuck this, fuck that, and all that. And it was like, wow, I can't believe this. So they walking to each other, talking, and they both cussing each other out. And the karaoke dude just decide to just swing on the dude. So my dude didn't take it, and he slammed him on the ground hard. Hard. But he wouldn't try to take off on nothing. He wasn't trying to swing on him. He wasn't trying to hit him. He just trying to come. Yeah, the karaoke DJ was drunk, but it was still unnecessary. You people get these egos when they shouldn't. You only making $150 a night, bro. Like you selling Grammys, you making Grammys. You ain't selling records. You ain't selling no records. You ain't, how you say, players, whatever the movie. Yeah, but but it was just ridiculous to me.
You're not Bernie Mac, so just leave it to the pros.
You look like Bernie Mac with that, especially that one eye. And but y'all see Candace? Oh, that's Poison. There she go. Yeah, there you go, Candace. And but it was just ridiculous, man. And it put a bad mark on the bar, and the bar didn't really have nothing to do. And he tried to, straighten it out and talk to the people, because he real close with his customers. But I felt like that was really just unnecessary and didn't have to be that way. And it was dumb. I mean, what's y'all thoughts on it? I mean, these karaoke dudes, DJs period, sometimes get cocky.
You ain't supposed to be punching nobody in the face. You're supposed to be DJ.
Well, my thing is, I don't care who you are or where you at. Everybody needs to respect everybody. And if you in my establishment and you can't show me no respect, you gotta go.
And this how far the
hope you
owner
get
went.
your money.
And this how far the owner went. He still paid the dude. He made him get up and get rid of this stuff. He still paid him at the end of the night. And still tried to talk to the dude because they go back. But it's just the fact that it was unnecessary for him to just get that way. Okay, you drinking. And the only thing that pissed him off, I'm going to tell you what pissed him off. He tries to be a regular DJ, and he's not. It's karaoke. Play songs, let people sing. You want to try to DJ through the night, and people up here complaining like, hey, I'm ready to sing. When we going to sing? And he just went to him and said, hey, people complain and say they want to sing. And I guess he did that twice. And he gets mad and loses and blows his top. It was unnecessary. It was straight up unnecessary. And it was all bad. Like I said, the dude paid him still, but now he just lost a gig that he had on a regular basis for over a year. And he don't have that many anymore. So,
well, obviously, that means it's some reevaluating he needs to do with himself.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like, they're where you trying to get to.
Right.
So obviously, you need to sit back and like ask yourself some questions and realize some things, get some things in order.
But I think it's a lot of vanity in Cleveland people. Period. Like I know singers who they sing around the city and do all this stuff, but they don't have no records. They ain't got no. Okay, you go to the bar, people like you and sing, and you get gigs, but you still catching the bus places, asking for rides places. It's not like you a star. People need to get back into the mindset that you grinding still, and you let this ego just fill your head and turn you into something that you ain't. Because really, to be frankly, you ain't shit yet. I mean, I don't want to downgrade nobody, but you trying to play like you on the same level as Christina Aguilera or something. What's up, Cheryl? How you doing?
Hey, Cheryl.
Grab a seat either way, anywhere. How you doing? Hey, I'm gonna have you sit over there. Yeah.
Hey, my loves.
Either or, yes, you can switch which way, however y'all doing. We got our guests walking in. It's about to go down. It's about to be a great show today. But yeah, I just couldn't believe the arrogance of this dude and just, but hopefully, he realizes his mistake. Yeah, everybody getting situated. Hopefully he realizes his mistake and he decides to do better. I mean, yeah, boys, I know you a star. You a star. How do you come to people? I mean, I've seen you come late and shit like that because you come late here, but you come late to you.
just put her on blast though. Like
I'm fashionably late and I show up and show out. Okay, that's what I do. But I ain't gonna punch nobody in the face though. You'll never catch Poison doing anything ratchet. Tawanda maybe off camera, but not. My image is everything. I wouldn't do that because you don't know. You could mess up your other jobs. Like when they want to hire you, you crazy. You punch people in the face.
When you do shows and everything, you deal with other artists. Do you get some of these artists that try to act like they selling out arenas?
Yep.
And they only selling out. They ain't even selling out Jacks on Mayfield Road.
Yeah.
and how do you approach that? Do you say anything to them?
No, no matter what you say, they're gonna feel how they feel about their show. So, like I said, I show up and I show out. I don't really even be focused on people and how they feel about their performance or if they louder than what they really are. I come through. That's what I do. So I ain't worried about I ain't worried about nobody else. And
I just feel you could be confident in what you do. You just need to be.
Yeah, because I'm
a little better at how
how I am.
Yeah,
but I'm very humble. You know what I'm saying? Because we are not selling out arenas. And even if you were selling out arenas, you still should be humble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because all of what you getting, you can lose. So.
Exactly. One of my dudes, he played for Babyface, and he'd go all over the world. And he'd tell you in a minute that that shit can end quick. Like that. And he'd come back and he'll come play these little $100, $70 gigs here in Cleveland.
And you should.
And then he'll go back on the road and do some Babyface stuff.
Yeah, you should.
But I don't understand it. There's some people that just be like, this would be funny to me. It's funny to me.
Well, my thing is, if you
what's your thing?
It ain't you.
See, another dumbass. Go ahead.
Look, we got guests in the building. We ain't gonna act up tonight. I thought you said
we always
gonna
get.
Hey, be good.
be on the chill pill tonight. That's why I told
I said y'all be on the chill pill. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Made me forget what I was gonna say.
Because you're a bad journalist. Go ahead.
No, I was serious. You made me me forget what I was about to say. You know my memory is like that.
Yeah, I forgot you still in the remedial classes. But in the house, we got a couple of our guests so far. We got one more coming. We got LARICK CALHOUN, CHERYL Cook in the building. And excuse that mic, it don't stand up too well. And that one with the orange part right there is the part that go towards your lip. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna come around there and fix it in a minute.
You got jokes.
Yeah, but we got one more coming, but we gonna hop into some of our segments real quick, and it's time to get going. The first one we're gonna go with is with Poison Ivy. It's the Ratchet News, and she said she got a good one. So,
oh Lord,
what you got?
I don't get my intro.
Oh my new computer. We down right now.
Well,
new computer. That one got to delete. I got to make a new one.
So this dude, I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna call him Tyrone. Tyrone is up in Mayfield shopping at Sam's Center, and he locked his keys in the car. So he calls the police to come and get the keys out the car, and they smell weed off top. Then they search the car. He got a scale, sandwich bags, 2 more bags on him. So it's like everybody said, like, why would you call?
Yeah, that camera.
Why would you call the police knowing that you got all this drug paraphernalia in the car? So he is facing like drug trafficking, drug possession. Then they trying to hit him with the fact that he was in range of a school. So it got something to do with the children. Like, you're a dumbass. Why would you?
Child endangerment.
So
You should have just broke out the little back window. You know what I'm saying? Sold some of that weed. Got it fixed. But yeah. That was an epic film.
Oh baby. Oh
Epic
ting ting.
film.
so you lock your stuff in the car. He probably didn't think they would check the car.
Lock the key. But as soon as they got the car open, the weed just whooshed.
The aroma.
Yep.
And when they come to unlock them cars, it depends on the city, but they check your license too, see if you got warrants or anything too. Cause that's a quick arrest for them.
You know what? You can learn a lot from a dummy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
That was the best joke she said so far.
Okay,
No,
Since
but I
I
was
met her.
dead serious. You can learn a lot from a dummy on how not to be dumb.
Shut up.
Did you just make
Didn't you say you was on chill mode tonight?
That's what he said. He lied.
You full of lies.
Full of lies.
Full of
What
lies.
my brother said.
Go to bed. We can finish the show.
How it go? You a lie, the truth ain't in you.
The lie, the truth ain't in you. All right, we're gonna move over to our next segment. We got Candace to credit Shiro with and I actually have yours because that didn't get ever deleted for some reason, but
Be the change you wish to see in the world. You can make the difference. Ordinary people like you and me making a positive difference in the world by practicing paying it forward.
So, today's Pay It Forward. There was a elderly lady in Wooster, Ohio, who donated her deceased husband's clothing. The story actually came on Fox 8 News this evening. Not much detail, but the little I have, I do want to share. When she donated the clothes, there was $8,000 that was found in the husband's shirt.
damn.
And she donated it to a thrift store. They then sold the merchandise. Whoever purchased it brought it back to the thrift store. Somehow they had the woman's contact info and was able to return the money. So my question to you all, the public, viewers, if that was you, you find $8,000 randomly, however you find it, would you make efforts to return it or would you keep it? You want to see your blessings tenfold or you want to have just that monetary gain for the moment? So call in, give us your opinion, 216-526-1555. And credit report.
Hold on, before we go to that, I got to comment on that because it reminded me of a joke where, guys say somebody lost a wallet, had about $8,000 in it. I just want to let you know we found the wallet. You ain't getting the money back. I'm telling you.
But my thing, I'm glad
I might
that you did
return
stop
about,
on that.
I don't know. I got bills.
I'm glad you did stop me on that. Do anybody in here understand how do you forget $8,000 in somebody's shirt pocket? How do you miss that?
Well, you said it was her elderly husband's.
I mean,
You know,
but,
they have long. Sometimes they have long though. They put money in different places, and he probably passed.
but you
You
didn't.
know, he passed, of course.
Said her deceased husband.
Right, I said he passed, of course. So
probably.
it ain't like he's still looking for it.
But before you, I hate you. But before you put the clothes in the bag, don't you check? Like, don't you mishandle it some way where it end up falling out? Like tossing it around and shoving it in. I don't
check the
How do you
pockets,
miss
period.
$8,000? That's
But you
a
gotta
nice
think,
little-
she might have
Like
been
when
in
you
a
bought the
distraught
house, you check
situation.
the pockets.
She might be in a distraught situation. You know,
I'm
she's
still
not thinking
checking the
about doing that.
pockets.
She's just thinking about donating the stuff, getting it out so she can move on. And mourn properly. You know what I'm
True.
saying?
No, I'm
True.
checking them pockets.
You checking the pockets.
Yep.
Well, somebody else checked the pocket, and they got 8 stacks.
I'd have got that.
Hush it up,
X-Stacks,
Clifford.
too.
I know he ain't looking no more.
But that's what somebody said.
Yeah, agreeing with you.
Right. You should agree with me because I'm right.
Don't listen to him, public.
I'm just saying. I want to know. What would you do if she donated some clothes and you got the clothes and you got a bonus of $8,000? Are you returning it?
Hell no.
And then on the
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Hughley show, he said that somebody
D.L. Hughley?
Daryl, whatever his name is.
I'm gonna get you
You gave that man a whole new name.
because you need a cup of Speak It Tall.
Whatever.
'Cause you can't speak it tall.
Mr. Hughley show.
Mr. Hughley, dog.
Right.
Okay, what was our Mr. Hughley?
Somebody dropped a bag of $100,000 and they returned it. It was a lady that returned it.
Did she find that in the? Why did she find that money? And
I
turned it in?
I caught the tail end of the story, but
He said, I heard that. Did she find it in a TV?
yeah, it was a big screen
Yep,
TV.
she
One
found
of
it
them
in the
floor
TV.
models.
I don't know what kind, but she found it in the TV and turned it in.
It was a
Yeah.
floor model
Never
TV.
would've
They
did
found
that.
Did she get a reward?
No, they did not get
No.
give her a reward.
No, never would have.
But it's like my thing is people like do things, and I feel like when you pay it forward, you gonna get your blessing tenfold. So
And
whether
I
I get a
agree.
reward or not, when I wake up that next morning, that's my reward.
And I agree.
it's-
And all jokes aside, that's a true thing.
My reward is finding that money. That's my reward right there. That's it.
To the mic, talk to the mic. True,
Got to bend it up.
We going
I gotta
shopping.
fix
but that could be it.
I ain't turning it in.
So basically, you saying you would keep the money?
I'm keeping it. It's mine.
True, but until you get into that situation, what would you do, Miss Cook?
Honestly, I think, I'm going to keep it, but I'm also going to
Baby, I'm with you.
enjoy it.
Yes.
But honestly speaking, just an ordinary person such as myself, I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to pay my tithes. And honestly, when I get money anywhere, I try to help everybody.
Right.
So that's my blessing. I'll take it as a blessing, but I'm still paying it forward.
And what would you do, Mr. Calhoun?
Rick like,
Flip a house.
Thank you.
Right.
Put the original money back and keep it popping.
No, but honestly,
that's right.
honestly,
Make an investment.
what I would do, I would give it to people. I would go shopping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to people
Once it came out
in
the
return
store.
for goods.
How about this?
Call shopping. I would get myself.
Purse at Walmart. You just bought an item. It's at
Right.
a thrift store.
I'm helping the
It's a little
community.
blessing to take it all the way back. But I've done things like that.
That's
before,
two
not
separate
really
scenarios, though. The 8,000 was the thrift store. The 100,000 was in a house.
Oh, the $100,000.
It was in a floor model TV.
Man, that's my $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's just so many people take things for advantage and think that you always supposed to get something in return. Sometimes, do you know how many things people done did for you? How many late nights people done had to stay up and nurse you?
Nah.
Like, I mean, if you have children, I would imagine that you get it because you done had to do it with your child or children.
Yeah, but they ain't do it for me. I did it for them. No, I'm just playing. When I be at home now, I'm by myself sick.
Well,
I gotta make my own chicken noodle soup.
that means you need to find you a honey dip.
You do.
Yeah, but I don't want them to stay
You
that
need to
long
get you a
either.
honey dip then if you feeling lonely and sick
I don't be lonely.
to get yourself
I
together.
just be wanting to be alone.
What?
Let him keep that to himself,
Yeah.
whatever it was. TMI probably. Shout out to Pastor Elder Christopher Carpenter. Thank you for tuning in.
And you got your credit tip of the day.
Credit tip of the day. The one thing that I do want to say, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you all are getting calling in questioning about the services. And I can't stress it enough how vital your credit is to your lifestyle.
Your credit?
Your credit. I said credit.
Sound like you said credit, but go ahead.
Clean the wax out your ears.
Clean the goop out your mouth.
You know what?
Keep starting it. I finish it. Go ahead.
However, I don't know if you all understand, it takes your credit to keep a house, to get credit cards, to get a car, your utility bills. Your gas and light meter runs off of your credit score. That's how they rate your monthly bill every month.
I had
To get a
bad
job
joke.
and keep a job. Get your credit in order. Stop watching, join in, and get your own results.
But some of those things you said, as far as like getting a house and everything, I know it requires credit, but if you have cash and you have enough cash, could you do all those same things with cash?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. One of my business partners has he gets clients from the Cadillac dealership down by 30th.
Okay.
There was a doctor down there that put down $10,000 on the truck. Well, tried to, attempted to. He got denied. They had to deny him.
They still
So
deny
I
them
can
$10,000.
have cash, but guess what? If you can't find nobody to finance the rest, what I'm gonna do? Take your $10,000 until you get out?
Makes sense.
So you can have all the cash you want. Cash is king, but credit is power.
Okay. In the house, ladies and gentlemen, we have our guests. They are lined up in a row over here against the wall. We got my man over here, the motivational speaker, business coach, all-around good guy. Mr. LARICK Calhoun is in the building. I have applause. Also over here, we have former basketball star. She works with children. She's just a good person all the way around. We call her Cookie, but her name is CHERYL Cook. And the music, author and child care provider, I should say, Miss Ivy Lee in the building. I'm gonna make sure you're. Let's see. A nice long discussion with everybody. We're gonna talk about what they all are doing, but we also gonna just talk about some regular stuff because this is what we do on the Vibe. We just vibe. We talk about whatever's in the air. We're gonna start with LARICK because he got here first. He was punctual, so overly punctual. What's been going on? What's new with you, Rick? What's been going on, man? Me and him go way back.
Yeah.
We go back to the days of my marriage.
Yeah, the Cancun trips.
Oh, Cancun, yeah.
And all that bacon.
Man,
boy.
we had
That was a lot of bacon.
we went to the buffet and just got like 3 plates of bacon and put it on the table.
Oh my God.
That's nasty.
That was our whole crew. It was how many of us?
Was it 8 of us?
It was like 8 of us.
Yeah. That was every year.
That was crazy.
Yep, no, everything's good, man. Just, out living life and helping people live their life better. Entrepreneurs and just kind of trying to stay true to what it is I'm called to do.
Okay.
I did a lot of that today, so I had a chance to meet with some awesome people and help them move forward toward their awesome dreams. So that's really all I'm doing every day, getting up and living in purpose.
So what was it? What was the thing that you did today? Exactly.
Yeah, I helped start off helping 2 clients early this morning. Of course, I work with So Curly, So Keep It So Straight. So we have a new staff over there. I'm helping them put together a staff and game plan, get the stylists all growing. That's a whole group of entrepreneurs inside there, all hairstylists.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I met with a young lady. She's retired, but she just mentioned her name is Margaret Scott. She wanted to come and volunteer and help just support the organization and come and work with me. She had been waiting for a while, and I was just excited to talk to me about how she could really she was still trying to find her own way. So we had a chance to really talk and kind of got into a little moment there, but she was able to power through it. And we're gonna start working with her tomorrow to help her start living her dream by helping other people.
Talking to that mic a little bit more for me, Rick.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And is it better?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Yeah, so we're gonna start, offer her a space in the office,
Oh.
so she can just come up and start rebuilding herself. So it's a blessing to have an inner city community center where I can just open the doors and let people just come in and start living their dream instantly, whether they got $1 in their pocket or not. So that's why we kind of built that. So it was just all the way straight through, just all empowerment all day, and it just filled me up really good.
That's what's up, man. I mean, I see you doing a lot with that, and you doing real well. I mean, you giving a lot of opportunity. By the way, Tony Johnson said, "Yo, it's me."
Oh yeah, I was just on the phone with Tom.
Oh, you was just on the phone with Tone?
Mm-hmm.
He should call in 216-526-1555, Tone. If you
Tom started all this off.
yeah. Back at what was the name? AAA Mortgage.
Yep, played and assured.
Right, assured.
Tony and I getting ready to do some really big things. I'm excited to be working with one of my first mentors to help me to become the professional that I became. And he gave me an opportunity when nobody else really knew who I was, and I was just a barber. And he showed me how to put on a real suit and give me some Bakabuchi shoes and Johnson Murphys.
Some Bakabuchis.
Cost $150, Tom. And then he helped me to make my first 6 figures, and that was pretty awesome. Just coming from being a street guy, ex-street guy, and trying to get my life in order. And he showed me how to suit up and be a man and get out there. So I'm happy to even know he's out there listening. So I look forward to working with him this year.
That's good, man.
That's real good.
You got some questions?
So, yeah, I was just about to jump in.
Okay, go ahead, man.
So,
Do your thing. Sure.
Mr. Calhoun, I had the opportunity of meeting you via social media.
She's very
on a
formal with you.
post. On a post regarding this program, the Nehemiah Project. And I wanted you to give a little bit of background in regards how that vision came about.
Okay. So the Nehemiah Project, ultimately the name Nehemiah Project is Tom Stone, the executive director of Mount Pleasant Now Development Corp, an organization that's in the area in which I grew up at, and kind of where a lot of my early life was kind of troubled at. I grew up in the Union area, 113th, and come up in a struggling family, single mom, the whole story. You already know how it goes in the neighborhood. And things didn't work out so well for me back then. It ended up getting into a lot of unnecessary trouble. So fast forward, when I got myself on my feet and started really getting things in order, I went back to that neighborhood, and I went to actually bring a computer training program to that building, Mount Pleasant Now Development Corp, and I found that there was no resources. The first floor was just empty, and it just needed some help, some life. And so I went out and applied for a grant, got $5,000, brought the $5,000 in that grant and donated it back to that building and built out the Micro Enterprise Center. In the process of building it out, we had to get it painted, and we had to get all this work done. And so I asked a gentleman who was around there putting up a board for me. He asked me what we were going to do here. I said, hopefully change some people's lives. And then what he ended up asking me, he's like, well, man, I would love to be a part of this. So I said, well, what do you do outside of the painting or the hanging up the boards? He said, well, I can paint, I can drywall. I said, well, can you teach somebody how to paint? He said, yeah. I said, well, look, I don't have enough money to paint this whole building, but how about if you teach these community service guys that sit around here vacuuming how to paint, and I'll just pay you an hourly rate just to paint. And he was like, man, I'd love to do that. So they ended up, fast forward, they ended up working, and he taught them, showed them how to paint, showed them how painting lays out, and they painted the entire building. We got some discounted paint from the store, and I called it to earn while you learn. That's where the whole concept came from. Earn income. He earned income while learning how to be a trainer. So in my mind, I was saying, if I can build you a skill different and teach you how to take, without having a high school diploma, you can take a skill and teach somebody that skill. And you could build a workforce, make some money in the process, be a trainer, and then go on, and this person now has a skill, and you can start building your business right from there. And that was called the Earn While You Learn. So fast forward again, Tom Stone kept watching that program, and he kept saying, what did you do here? How did you do this? And we just kept playing around with it, and we brought a maintenance tech guy through it. They wanted to hire from Mount Pleasant. We brought him through the same process. Let him come in, let him learn some of the lay of the land as far as Pleasant, had him showing his skills, working with them. We was paying him a little stipend along the way. So make a long story short, Tom ended up writing it into a proposal and submitting it to the St. Luke's Foundation and saying, we have a program that we believe can transform not only the community houses that are dilapidated, sitting around needing people to repair them, but also people that are in need of developing basic skills, painting, plumbing, electrical, drywall, basic skill stuff, and at the same time it can restore the community. So you get 3 outcomes. And Nehemiah, the actual 2:1-5 is an actual scripture that talks about basically when they came in and rebuilt the walls of the community.
We got a caller calling in. You know who this is.
So
What's up, Tone?
Happening.
Hey, Dean, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's going on with you?
Watching your show, brother. Watching your show.
What's up, Tone?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, what's up, LARICK? How's it going?
How you doing there, sir? We back here with D, man, in that bacon, Tone. Hey, you started those Cancun trips.
Yeah, man. Them Cancun trips.
Y'all nasty.
Yeah, the good old days.
Man.
Right.
So Rick says y'all got something that y'all putting together soon?
Yeah, we've got a project we've been working on off and on over the last couple of years, actually. And I'm pretty excited about it. Rick's excited about it. It's going to empower the community. It's going to empower a lot of small business owners and a lot of people that want to get into business, and especially in the real estate aspect. So we're pretty excited about it.
You back down? You still down there in Atlanta, right? You doing your thing in Atlanta now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Lending in 50 states right now. You know, we're doing private loans for real estate investors. Even if you're a first timer, we can train you, educate you, mentor you, and get you out there. So it's going pretty well. And we're trying to bring something back to the city. And me and Rick, we've been putting it together for quite some time, and it's time to roll it out, actually. So pretty excited about it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So Rick said, you was his mentor and everything, and I know you know we all go back. What type of motivation do you think you gave to Rick that made him what he would jump started him, that you can pass along to others while you on the air?
Well, the biggest thing that I see in people like LARICK, and there's a million D. Carols and there's a million LARICK CALHOUNs out there.
There really isn't a million D. Carols. There's probably 3. My father, and my brother, but that's about it. Yeah, I got a brother named D.
It's a million people out there just like you, just like me, just like LARICK, that need the opportunity and need the path to go down in order to be successful,
Right.
and achieve the things they need to do to be the best that they can be. Anyone, if they make the commitment to do better, can change and succeed and live the life they want to live. And LARICK's a testament to that, because it's not about wealth. It's not about how many cars, how many big houses you got, or anything like that. It's about how much you can give back and how much you can live your life the way you want to live it. Because we only got one life to live. So it's a lot of us out here, that need to be uplifted, and we need someone to just reach out and lend a hand. We ain't gotta pull you up, but you just may need a hand to get to that next step. And that's what my goal is, and I think that's what LARICK's goal is as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, Tony, I thank you for calling, man. We got to get to go on some other interviews, but I'm gonna talk to you soon. We need to link up and do those things that we do. How we go out and ramshackle a bar or whatever.
Oh, Lord. That's definitely a
Appreciate you,
disaster
Joe,
waiting to
man.
happen.
Most definitely. And I want to give a shout out to all y'all. You're doing a good job, D. And you and your crew, y'all need to keep it up, because it's crazy out here, and keep putting out a positive message with a little spin to it and make it humorous and whatnot. But the bottom line is, keep up the good work, and you got my support 1,000%.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Miss Cook, Mr. Trey Carpenter.
You take it easy, bro.
Tell Cherry I said hello.
gonna move it on to a little bit. We're gonna come back to you in a second, but we gotta talk to my homegirl Cookie.
Hey,
What's going on, Cookie?
thank you. Bless. Thank you guys for having me in the house today.
Now tell us about your background. I mean, I know about you, but I want you to tell the story because you have like a lot of things that you've done in your life so far. And
First, let me give honor to God because without Him, none of that would have been, none of this would be possible. So thank you all for inviting me here today. My first career, I was obviously a basketball player. I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, George Washington High School. Played high school basketball at George Washington High School. I had 374 college offers to attend any school from Harvard to West Point to Yale. I chose the University of Cincinnati because my parents lived in Indianapolis. So I wanted to still have that connection and that support to follow me. So I chose University of Cincinnati, ended up becoming their all-time leading scorer, graduated in 1985, the only female ever to have her jersey retired at the University of Cincinnati. So I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment. But without that, having the support of my people in Indianapolis and my family, none of that would be possible. So it's not about me, it's about others to help me along the way. Once I graduated from the University of Cincinnati, I obtained an agent and ended up overseas for 10 years playing professionally in Spain and Italy. I did that for 10 years, only in the country 3 months out of the year. In my 3-month stint back here in the United States, I ended up at the Olympic Training Center, tried out for the Pan American Games, and I was fortunate enough, out of 300 and 500 women, I was fortunate enough to be named to the Pan American Game team where we won a gold medal for the United States of America. Went back overseas, led the league in scoring in Spain, Madrid, Segovia, Tenerife, 30 points a game. Came back again next year. Was asked to try out for the Harlem Globetrotters.
you just named some cities that most dudes don't even know how to pronounce.
Well, yeah.
Or spell.
There you go.
Or know where they are.
But I'm blessed to be able to have that opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Kept coming back to the from overseas. Continue to go to the Olympic Training Center to ultimately to play in the Olympics. Was selected to the World Championship team. We won a gold medal there. We were the only U.S. team ever to beat the Russians.
Wow.
Tried out for the Globetrotters. Didn't make it. It was no problem. Just blessed to be given that opportunity. I had signed my biggest contract, so I knew I was going back overseas anyway. Continued my career. Now I'm in my second career. I decided to retire from basketball. They started the WNBA. Everybody keeps asking me, why didn't you try out for the WNBA? Well, I was full then. I was complete. I obtained my degree from the University of Cincinnati. I wanted to be able to give back to young people. And I ended up in Cleveland, and now I work for the Department of Youth Services. I'm a unit manager administrator. I run a juvenile prison, male offenders, 13 to 21. And when I tell you some days are more challenging than others, but I know God, don't make mistakes, so He put me where I needed to be to help these young people to make a difference and change their lives and change their thinking. So that's where I'm currently at, and I'm on my 20th year. So I'm proud of being able to help reach back to help these young brothers make a difference in their lives and give them something that they haven't been given before, and that's an opportunity to transition back into our communities as law-abiding citizens. So that's what I currently do.
Now, Ms. Cook, I was able and privileged
She's being very professional today.
to hit you in your eye in a minute. I was privileged to meet you maybe about 3 years ago at Kings and Queens.
Absolutely.
For the rally?
It was about maybe 3 or 4 years ago at Kings and Queens.
Absolutely.
When we had a talk in the ladies' room, it was just like one big inspirational conversation that just kind of happened out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do believe, even though that was kind of a different kind of unique place to me,
Mm-hmm.
God put people in your life for a reason.
Absolutely.
For a season.
Absolutely.
So I was honored to have the opportunity to sit down with you and someone else that you were with at that
Mm-hmm.
time to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like we was able to, connect and speak with each other and so on and so forth from there. So if you had the opportunity today to do anything different, and I know you're very, very passionate about what you do, but if you had the opportunity to change any of that, would you do something else along with it, or do something different, or how would you handle that situation?
You know what? I think this is by design. It's all in God's plan. What I'm doing now. I was fortunate enough to meet you, and I was blessed as well to meet you. I also do Stop the Violence rallies because I feel like, I never want death to hit my doorstep, and I've done nothing about it. So again, I just great to see you again. If I could do anything different, would I change anything? Absolutely not. But I'll get more. I'll go door to door to let these people know that the kids that I serve, they're coming home, and I'm hopeful that they come home better people to make better decisions. But no, I don't think I'll change anything. I'll just continue to try to motivate these young brothers. I can't teach them how to be men, but I can teach them how to be law-abiding citizens and respect us as black women, and we respect them as young black brothers, and not push them to be an adult more so than they already are. So let them enjoy their childhood. So, but no, I wouldn't do anything different. But I'm gonna continue to do my work. I'm gonna continue to get out here in the community and try to make a difference. Because if, like I said, I want to stand on my faith, and whatever I can do to help anybody. My mother always said, you got to be able, no matter how far you get in life, be able to reach back and help someone less fortunate. So that's what I'm doing. Absolutely.
I have one last question before Poison Ivy take over.
Yeah, I'm just.
The incident that happened last week with what's his name? Y'all know I ain't good with names.
What do you
The
do?
basketball player from Cleveland.
Oakley.
Oakley.
Charles Oakley.
Because that is your profession.
Thank you.
How do you?
Shout out to 123rd.
What's your sentiments on that incident? Did you ever get a full story as to what happened?
You know what? I can just say this guy is a legend. He would never should have been treated that way.
He should not.
I just felt like it was the way the owner treated him, and he gave his blood, sweat, and tears for 10 years to the New York Knicks organization. And it was a slap in the face to see two other African-American brothers be sitting with this owner that has a slavery mentality. It didn't sit well with me, and it shouldn't have sit well with anybody in here in his hometown of Cleveland, because we need to take a stand and say, guess what? It's not about the money, but it's about respect. I think, like I said, he's given a lot to the Knicks organization. They need to humble themselves, and instead of suspending him and kicking him out of Madison Square Garden, they need to welcome him with open arms for what he's given that city, that state, that organization. So how dare them do that to him and me as a basketball player, and my brother, a black basketball player himself, how dare them? So I think they need to be more transparent and say what it really is.
Nobody disagrees with you. Nobody found that funny. All right.
As usual.
Once again. So tell us, Cookie. So you put together that rally that they did up at Keys of Queens.
Yes.
What gave you the idea to do that, and why did you pick up there?
Attention, just not being there, it's hurtful. We just got to do more. We really just got to do more as a community. We got to do more. Come outside of these churches, and put the importance back on family. They just have to put the importance back on family.
Everything now is self. Everything is not anything is not united anymore. Everything is self. Think about it. Selfies. Me, myself, and I. I'm my own boss. I'm my own team. Like, that's all you see promoted nowadays. Like, you don't see anything with family anymore. So it's like everybody have the attitude, that's not my business, until it hits home. Then they want the community to get together. Nobody, all the people that you see that literally go through all those things, those are people who will not vote. Those are people who will not stand up and go to the community and talk.
Absolutely.
But once it hits home, then it's like, where's the community at now? And the people who've been rallying, like my mom, my mom is a big community activist. And everything that's going, everything that's been going on now, my mom, people don't even know that my mom has been knocking at the mayor's door for years, begging for bandos to be torn down, begging for people to get together. But everybody was like, because she's she's so outgoing and loud. They're like, oh, she's just too much. She's very, very, and she's too much. But now it's like, oh, where's she at now? She been asking for this. She's been petitioning for years, but nobody wanted to do it. So I agree with you that it needs to be back how it is. Family, like it used to be a village to raise a child. Now it's you raise your child, I raise mine. Don't touch my child. I think they need to bring the paddling back to schools because for one, I'm gonna be the first one to sign it because my 16-year-old need his butt whooped. Like somebody need to knock him down because he think he above the law sometimes.
But see, that's the difference between you and a lot of other parents who think their child can do
You don't have a
wrong.
mic.
No, I admit when mine do wrong because I'm not raising a criminal.
Can I get my mic back for a second?
You sure can.
You can't speak without a mic, so it's like she pretty much said nothing.
Hush your face.
I agree with you wholeheartedly because I just feel like in the position that I'm in and working for the state of Ohio, we tend to release well kids back into sick families,
Right.
and it's unfortunate. And I think and until we get back to that community, that family makeup, because I remember Miss Thomas would tell my mother, when I was out of line, and Miss Thomas was able to discipline me. So until we get back to that, whatever you put in something is what you're going to get out. So I just think, just like I said, I'll march alone. I would love to have everybody to come down and rest in peace to the Freeze family as well. Never should have happened. It happened. Now we need to do something. We don't need to wait. We need to take the active approach and not the proactive approach. So I'm all for that.
I'm going to let
What about
LARICK
lyrics?
go. Yeah, and then I just got one more thing to add to what you just said.
All right.
No, I mean, you know me, I'm into the entrepreneurship side. More businesses, more people creating ownership, and more that inspires hope. When you have someone, I remember growing up and we had Mr. G. And we was able to go to the store, the corner store, and Mr. G was a mentor, or Kirkman owned a restaurant on the corner. 112, we was able to buy and see someone that held us accountable. It was the father away from home. I didn't have a father at home, but right there when I would go in, Mr. G, Kirkman, all those different people, even some of the guys those from the streets, still kept us in shape and kept us on the right track. So when we got too far to the left, too far to the right, they helped us shape our minds a little bit different and helped us stay on the right path. Because that whoever that man is or those people that's interrupting these lives of these young women was somewhere along the line was a boy. He was a young man. Absolutely. And somewhere he got missed. Somewhere there was an opportunity and hope just dropped. And he couldn't eat. And when he can't eat, he'll kill. So at the end of the day, you have to continue to instill and create opportunity while it's still a small thing, because any big problem was once a small problem. And so if we continue to have preventative things in place, more businesses, more jobs created. At the age I am right now, I don't go back to the neighborhood and run that the enterprise center because I have to be in the neighborhood. I have business all across the country. I come back and open up that place every day for now 3 years because it's important, whether 2 people walk in there or 200, that people know that they can come here and launch a business, launch a dream, and be someone's employer right in that neighborhood. And they see someone like myself in a suit that represents leadership in that area. That little bit. And I talk to people, one guy, Carlos, he can't even read. But I sat there and I talked to him. I helped inspire some hope into him. Talked to him about what he can be, got him on the right path. He comes to me all the time asking for money to take care of his children and things of that nature, or his newborn. But at least there's a bridge of communication. So we just have to do more of that. And I don't say you have to come and move back in the hood, or, if you live there, great, do what you can. If you don't live there, support. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell the person where they have to be. I'm not going to constantly and stay there forever as far as working in that area, but I want to build a legacy that when I leave, it can still have the DNA for what it takes to transform people's lives and touch people. So we just have to do more of that. And I know we're right there on 139th and Kinsman. We've been there 3 years. We should be packed to the rim. And all those programs, that program, all of that stuff is real. We just have to take more advantage of real program and real opportunity. And ours is not government funded. We built that with our own blood, sweat, and tears. We run it every day. My attorney, Monica Doremus, is there. Patrice, all of us, we're consummate professionals in there driving when nobody's paying us but ourselves. So we need more people like that to know that it's just not for the 70-year-old, 80-year-old street watch person to come in and run that center. It should be younger, more vibrant professionals donating 2-3 hours a week to say, I could come in and help somebody with their business or do some counseling, resume building, and that little bit of hope, that seed would help somebody curve them from being out there touching a little girl or just being messed up in their mind later on down the life. Because it's just a pattern, but you stop it in the beginning.
Absolutely.
More opportunities.
And Chris Fitzgerald shot you out real quick on Facebook. Said you're gonna bring the team back to.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
And shout out to Kevin at Kings and Queens too.
Yes.
Shout out to Lil Kevin, man. And Lil Kevin, he's a funny dude, but he tries, and he really tries. He's about the community.
Definitely.
And his pocket, so he trying to work it out both ways.
Who not?
We're gonna move it on before I move it on, I want to touch on one thing that Rick had mentioned that really struck a chord to me, because I remember, we about the same age, if not, I think you older. But
just try to play you to the left. You made me the second my time to play you.
But we talked. You mentioned stuff about when you go to the corner store, it was a positive person there, because everything was black owned when we were coming up.
Yep.
On the corner of my street, I knew the guy who owned that store. Mm-hmm. On the other end of the street, it was all black owned. Now everything is either it's not a corner store on the street anymore, right, or it's I hate to say the Arab store, or whatever. But it's not like it used to be when if everything was black owned and you looked at somebody like, oh, I could own the store one day. Now you look at it like people are scared to reach for their dreams. Like I had somebody who was talking to me and they were talking about like, man, one day I think I should open a liquor store trying to open a bar. And it's like, no, the Arabs got that on lock.
Right.
And that's that's not the case. Right. It's just they see that, that's how it is, but they don't see that it's ways to always maneuver.
Right. Yep.
So the one thing that I had wanted to also bring up and mention, as far as like the community and some of the things that have been going on and with rallying and moving forward to try to get some of this dumb stuff stopped. I started a petition online. I think Mommy may have talked to you about it, Ivy. About the 2.3 million.
And make sure you're not too close to that heater too. I don't want you to burn up in here. We doing an interview while you're on fire.
In the city of Cleveland. And it's nothing against the bike path itself. The issue I have is that we have so many other.
She hate exercise.
What?
Go ahead.
Read between the lines.
That's all. She know.
Hey, Ma. We got abandoned houses that need to be torn down. We have homeless veterans that are laying around our city. We have children that are walking around with holy clothes, unsanitary clothing, and it's so many other important issues that we need. And it was a little battle going on my page about it. But, as I express to people, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
Absolutely.
Just put it on your page, not mine.
And there you go.
Because half these the bikers that's going to be there is going to be adults. What kid do you know, 10 years old, their parent, responsible parent, is going to let them ride from Shaker down to wherever they build a bike path at? You have to ride in the street to get to the bike path, because 9 times out of 10 you don't have a trailer to hold it. You have to ride in the street to leave the bike path. After it closes at 9 to 10 o'clock at night, they're still going to be riding 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So you mean to tell me you want to waste $2.3 billion of recreational funding and you don't have lifeguards at swimming pools?
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to. I used to work at a Belfair for street outreach to homeless youth, and I never realized so many homeless kids were living down by the waterway here in Cleveland. And to build I think this is a way to keep us asleep. When you state that you're going to build a $2.3 million bike park, I'm all for obviously athletic activities, but I think we need to put the money where it's really needed back into our communities, as far as community centers to keep our little brothers and sisters off the streets. We need to talk about human trafficking, because that's a problem. these kids are just not walking away and running away from family. They're being snatched off these streets. So if we had more programs and we could use some of that funding, but again, all of this is by design. It's to keep us asleep. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm woke. And we got to stay wide awoke, and we need to petition, and we need to go down there and knock on the mayor's door. I had an opportunity to talk to Mayor Frank Jackson when he came up to our prison. He didn't really know that there was a prison system, a juvenile prison system, in his area where he's the mayor. Wow. So there's a problem. There's some disconnect. So until we start connecting the dots and putting this money on relevant things for our young brothers and sisters of all colors and all ethnicities. I'm not just talking about black brothers. I'm talking about white brothers. I'm talking about white sisters. But until we come together as one and say, guess what, we'll have no more, we're going to keep getting what we get. And like I said, whatever you put in something is what you tend to get out.
And we're going to go and come back to that in a little bit, because I want to also go over to Miss Ivy over here, Miss Ivy Lee. Miss Author, the author, Ivy Lee.
My sissy poo.
Her
Hey,
sissy poo, as she say. Her sissy poo. And I noticed you have 3 books that you've written.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk to
you.
you about these books. But first, let's talk about you.
Okay.
What's your background?
I'm a mother of 3.
That's
I have
a lot
2
of kids. No, I'm just playing.
I know. I wanted 5. I claimed 5 because my kid's dad has a son with somebody else, and she has 2 children. So I claimed those 2. So those are my 5 because I can't.
One of my mama cousins got 11. You can get one of hers.
No, I got my 5 that I wanted.
Oh,
I got I always wanted 4 boys and a girl. So I got my 4 boys and a girl. I just didn't carry the other 2.
Okay.
So I got 5 kids. I do home daycare. I'm in the process of opening up a building right now.
Okay.
And I have 3 books out. I co-wrote and created a show with Johnny Filmworks called Wine and Gossip. It's a YouTube series. It's now on Amazon Prime. And what else I do? I'm in the process of writing a serial killer book about a black female serial killer. So, and I wrote 3 books. I don't know. I've always worked with kids because I love kids. I always knew since I was about maybe 13 years old, that's what I wanted to do. And that's what I do. I write books, read. I have creative stories. I make up stories all the time. Like, I'm always lying, I swear.
I was about to ask you, are you a good liar?
I'm a big liar, and it's so crazy because when I'm telling the truth,
So how do we know you're
nobody
telling the truth
believes
right now? How do we know?
me. Do you believe me?
No.
Then I'm telling the truth. If you don't believe me, I'm telling the truth. My best friend calls me all the time like, are you lying? Like, because I'm always making up stuff. But
why you always lying?
because it entertains people. It makes you
Like,
laugh.
you don't lie about nothing serious, though, do you?
No. Nothing serious. It's just, just I'll make up a story and just something just to.
Like Candace's life. It's a lie.
Why are you messing with my sister?
Because if I don't hit her first, she gonna hit me.
Don't get jumped up in here.
I won't get jumped. You won't. It don't help. It
But
don't
no,
matter.
yeah, I'm always lying about stuff. I don't know, just to be funny. I'll tell you if you ask me like, is it a lie? And I'm like, yeah, it's a lie. But if you don't ask me, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna let you be entertained by the story.
So what's your creative process when you could sit down to write a book? What do you do in order to get your mind in the right mindset to start typing this out and come up with a story? Is it a lot of breaks in between? Do you get writer's block?
I don't get blocked. I get lazy because
Okay.
I have ADHD. So I wouldn't even call it lazy. It's just like I'm like, oh.
Is this a clinical designation they gave you that you say you have ADHD, or just something you? I know what I just said. I said
No,
designation.
seriously. No,
See, I know other words too. So
No.
I could put a lot of words in
No,
different
I
ways
really,
and mean
I
the same
really
thing.
do have it. It's just like
Nah,
I don't
book
know. It
reading.
just depends. And if I feel pressured, I won't write. I'm like, if people are like, oh, where's your next book? I'm like, leave me alone. I'm not doing it. I'm stubborn, so I'm like, leave me alone. I'm not doing it. I'm serious. Like the whole time I was writing Juice Deception 2, people were writing me like, and don't do this to Ariana, and don't do this. I'm like, if you write me again, I'm killing her. I'm not playing. I'm killing her, and I'm gonna kill her good.
Yeah, it's bad when you got the people trying to get involved in your creative
Like, come
process.
on, leave me alone. But no, I don't know. I guess it depends. I get distracted by emotions, like with dealing with, mostly with my kids. Like, guys don't really they'll get to my emotions for a second, but then it's like I think about other stuff after that. But my kids is like my biggest distraction. My oldest son, he's my biggest distraction.
Are you self-published?
Yes.
Okay. Has Candace ever read any one of your books, or can she? Because you know.
Oh
she
my
has.
God, Candace was so thirsty for my books that she got it on credit. She was like, I get paid on Friday, but I need to know what happened with the wife. I'm like, come get the book, Candace. Like,
She reads your book and she try to explain the book back to you, like, girl, you did it.
she called me as if these were real life people. Like, I'm having a conversation with her like these are real life people. And she like, and what happened is such and such. And I'm like, the book is over. What you read is what happened.
Did she mispronounce a lot of the words?
She wanted a whole, no, I mean, it's a hood book, so.
But the one thing I did do, and don't do this, anybody, be in traffic reading while you at a stoplight.
Everybody who has read my book, right-handed guy,
You will
everybody
go
who
to
has
jail.
read my book told me they were in traffic, read my book. And I was like, please don't do that, because if you die, I don't want my book in your hand
Right.
as the cause of death.
Right.
But people were telling me like they couldn't put it down. It was times where, because at each chapter, I did my book a little different. I put drama in every single chapter, because you know how some books you can read, you can skip a chapter or two to get to the drama. I didn't do that. If you skip my any chapter in my book, am I lying? You're going to miss a lot, because I put drama in every single chapter. I ended it in drama. I began it with drama. So anything that you could think of is in that series of books. When I say anything you could think of, lies, sex, drugs, jail, homosexuality, lesbianism, thieves, criminals, anything that just goes on in the city of Cleveland is in that book.
So every story, every book is based on Cleveland. It's not based.
Well,
like
it's
on-
always going to be based on Cleveland,
Okay.
but it's not always going to be based on the same thing. Like right now, the book I'm writing is not an urban fiction book, so that's more like a thriller. But it's based out of Cleveland. I'm always going to shout out Cleveland because this is where I was born and raised.
Now you got a YouTube series you were just talking about. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Wine and Gossip. Okay, so Johnny, I met Johnny. He did the Heist. You guys are familiar with Heist Girls, the series? Okay, they're doing the season 2, 3. Something's about to come now, so make sure y'all tune in for that when he gets that. But he was in the process of creating new shows, and I had came to one of his events and supported him just to support, because I try to support everybody and what they do. And he reached out to me in my DM and said that he wanted a writer for a show. So I'm thinking he wanted me for Heist Girl. So when I got over there, he was like, no, I want you to help create a show. I want a whole new show, something new, something different. So literally Wine and Gossip was off the top of my head when I threw the idea at him. I was like, oh, shoot, he put me on the spot. And I'm not really good at on the spot, but I guess I am, because we created Wine and Gossip. So I was like, well, we can do like a girlfriends kind of feel. You know, they don't have that anymore. So right now we don't have any competition. You know, we can bring that back, because that was a really popular show. So we did where friends meet up and they, you know, sit around the living room, they drink wine, and they talk about their problems. And so it's not really gossiping, because it's really their life. But, you know, I just thought Wine and Gossip was a catchy title.
Don't pay attention to me when I'm moving everything around. I'm trying to direct the camera.
You're fine.
But so Wine and Gossip, where do y'all shoot at?
My living room.
It's the whole thing.
It's all in my living room. Yep. All in my living room.
I saw that too, because that's what my dude Ken. I mean, not Ken, Carrie.
Carrie who?
With the dreads.
Okay.
I think it's like I saw some of it, and I know y'all might need some more, people to be involved in. If I'm a seasoned actor, and
I don't get to choose anybody though. All I get to do is come up with the idea. All I get to do is write. That's it, and provide the location. Other than that, if I say to Johnny like, "Hey, this person might be great," he'd be like, "Oh, that's not your job." But he might look into it, but it's not my job. So Johnny is the man you want to get to. Johnny will tell you, "Hey, this guy is gonna be a good fit."
I'm working on my own show too. It's called Beer and Brunch.
Okay.
And it's about dudes just drinking beer and eating chicken. And we oh damn, we dropped the phone. That's all right. And so Candace for a long time. That's like your sister, as you say. And I've met you before at Helen's at one time when you was coming from a show. And,
I was coming from the Improv with my date.
When I was trying to learn how to twerk.
Right, she was trying to learn how to twerk. And I have this video
Of who?
Do not play that.
of you, her, and some girl with blonde hair, twerking, and Candace looked very, very crazy.
I don't recall.
Candace was trying hard.
She was trying so hard. I felt like
It
her
was after
spine
we
was
had the top
hurting.
dancers in Cleveland on, and they were showing her techniques, and she got a little bit in her, and she wanted to prove that she could twerk.
No, I did not try to prove that. I tried to learn.
No, whatever. after you left them.
I don't think I was twerking.
It was like you were, and
I don't recall that.
and it was like, but she was twerking though, and it looked like her back hurt.
And she got me in trouble.
Who did me?
Yes.
How come?
With
How,
mommy,
Sway?
'cause you
How?
snitched
I did.
about my shirt.
I don't know what happens when Patron is in me. I'm sorry.
Hilarious.
I had a lot of Patron that night. I had some Patron at the Improv. Then I came to Helen's and had some Patron.
It was a lot of Patron because you obviously don't remember that you was twerking. She was.
I
Twerking.
don't recall
and some blonde hair
twerking.
girl y'all was with. She was real dark with blonde hair.
That was my
which
date's brother, sister.
Which kind of blew
I
me
mean,
off
girlfriend.
because she was dark
His
as hell
girlfriend.
with blonde hair. It didn't
Yeah.
look natural.
That was
And,
his girlfriend.
That was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she was getting her twerk on too, and then I walk over there to Candace, and Candace looked like she just trying to stand on her tippy toes real fast. It called it twerking.
That's funny.
Yeah, she was.
It looked like I'm having a seizure.
It did. She was like, I'm like, okay, just stop. Just
And
stop.
then you
Just
got
stop. Be
this
cute.
one over here, Miss Poison Ivy. She twerk every minute.
Just a little bit.
She twerk every minute.
Just a little bit.
So I have a
I can
question.
play Mozart. She twerk to it.
Just a little bit.
How does it feel to have reached #1 on Amazon African American Author of the Year?
Oh,
Well,
wow.
that was, it was, I can't even describe it. The only reason I really was so excited about it was because
So you had to
my
mention that
name
stuff,
was
Ken.
next to Zora Neale Hurston. She is like,
Yeah, she's the truth.
The great
she's
Zora
the
Neale
truth.
Hurston.
Like, if you don't know who she is, you learn your history. It's February. Learn it. Because she made the way for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what
She wrote that
did.
Their Eyes Were Watching God, too.
Yes,
right?
and she's so dope. So, and that's one of my favorite books. And my mom just gave it to me again out of her house because I always take stuff from my mom. And when I came over, I was like, "Can I have this book?" She was like, "Take it, Bird, take it." She calls me Bird. She was like, "Take it, Bird, take it." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I was gonna steal it, but I didn't want to steal. I was trying to be honest. So I was like, "Can I have it?" She was like, "Yeah, you can have it." But yeah, that was big for me because she's still like the top seller. Like she's still on Amazon. She's still #1. And when my name went #1 and she was #2, I was like, "Hey, girl, hey, thanks for sharing the spot." You know, and she's gone, and she's
Right.
still,
She's
you know what I
still
mean? Like
selling
that's dope. So
So how,
it was a nice feeling.
so how does it feel to get mixed up with mommy from time to time?
I only get mixed up with mommy when I have my glasses on.
True.
When I have my glasses on, everybody like, "Hey, you look like," I'm
But
like,
not
Star.
On
On
the phone.
the
Y'all
phone, I
get
sound like her.
Y'all get mixed up all the time. Over
Can
the
can
phone.
y'all elaborate on who mommy is?
My mother.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, she was saying this-
Mariah,
you and your
Mariah
mom look just alike.
They say we do, but I don't think so. I think I look like my father, but I think it's the eyebrows because my mom has really thick eyebrows. So
And that.
and a big
actually,
smile.
Her mom was helping me with a situation, and I met Ivy at a vendor event, and I was like, "Who is she? Is she me?"
Who, me?
Yeah,
Because I wasn't smiling.
right.
When I'm not smiling, everybody thinks I'm just like on this diva attitude. So I could just be chilling. Like, no, I'm chilling. Like I'm thinking, and people like, "Oh, aren't you smiling?" They're so used to me smiling. So if I'm not smiling, they think I got like the diva light skinned girl attitude. And I'm really dark skinned at heart. I'm telling y'all. I don't even know. I'm really like not like the stuck up light skinned girl. I'm super friendly. But if I'm not, I have to smile. If I don't, people think I have an attitude
Well,
problem.
I learned that later.
Yeah.
That's how we were able to build a rapport. I was like, "Ma, who was that? She me?" She was like, "That's your sister." I said, "Oh, hey sis." And then that's when she started smiling.
Yeah, like I'm always smiling. Like my best friend is like my bodyguard when we're out. She was like, "Would you stop smiling?" I'm like, "I can't help it." And don't give me a couple shots. I'm really gonna be smiling.
So we gonna move it back over here. By the way, before we end out, I want to make sure everybody knows y'all need to shout out y'all information so people know how to find you and get in touch with. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Rick,
Yes,
Nah.
sir.
Rick,
Yes, sir.
Rickety Rick, Big Rick. Remember the days we used to be at Tony backyard? We played basketball. Remember that time I dunked on you?
The dunk.
Yeah, the dunk that
I
killed
did.
me.
I ain't seen you do no dunking, man.
Yeah, I used to catch asthma attack. But so as
Thank you.
we discussed earlier, you know we go back to where we used to be at a AAA mortgage and Assured mortgage.
Yeah.
What made you move from the mortgage game? Because you were doing well in the mortgage game at the time.
Man,
you know, then the
listen.
market crashed. of course.
Right.
And then, but what made you move to that? Then I saw like one day I'm like Rick doing motivational speaking. He can barely talk. What was it? No, just,
I mean, I was everything happened. I like what Ms. Cook said earlier. Everything happened in God's plan. So I was in the mortgage business. I was making money. I was making it from a hand over fist, but I wasn't living in purpose. So I was making the money, but I was not doing the thing that God put me on this earth to do. Mm-hmm. So when that real estate industry crashed, and I crashed with it, lost everything. When I looked up, the only thing I had was, my church home. I started working up there, and this is when I learned that I really was going to be someone that was going to be empowering people the rest of my life. Is that in the midst of not having anything, losing my cars, losing everything, that I was still getting up every day, going to that church and helping people and speaking into their life every day when I didn't have a home to go to. And that transitioned me into, like, man, if you can motivate somebody and you don't have anything, they was picking my cars about the parking lot. And I'm steady talking to people, and I just loved helping people and saying, I remember helping a young lady with her house, and she was getting ready to lose it, and I went all the way down there and helped her write a letter and using my real estate background for good, right? And that started, like, sparking the interest. And, of course, right before the industry had crashed, I had launched the 2XL, which was going to be the empowerment network anyway. But it was empowering people through real estate. And that was cool, but now it's more about empowering people through who they are on the inside. And then they can manifest themselves in real estate or business or whatever. So that's kind of more what I'm on right now, is true empowerment versus that superficial when you're just going about the money itself. So that was pretty much how I got into the motivational speaking part. And then people just kept saying, man, you're pretty motivating. Help me with what I'm doing. I love the things that you shared to me. What you said 3 years ago now makes sense. I started hearing that more and more. I said, maybe I could do this for a living. So, that's where the Real Biz Coach has been born. And that's kind of what I do when I walk, go around and talk to people now. So it's it. I don't miss real estate from that space. When Tony and I, the project that we're working on, is going to deal with the real estate, but it's only going to deal with empowering people's mind to understand how to take a strong wealth building tool like real estate and financing and use it to build a legacy, not just get rich.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at.
Now, I'm trying to get certified as a life coach myself right now. And I've done a couple of certifications and everything. And we started a business with a partner, but she had to back out. And I'm probably just going to keep the business going. What kind of tips would you give to me as somebody who is aspiring to move into life coaching, and how can I venture out into it and begin my journey?
Number one thing is, and it's in my name, the Real Biz Coach, right? It's come from the heart to the heart. So care enough, because people, they're right now, they're in the season where they're really looking to identify with not just the degree or the certification. They want your pedigree.
Right.
How much do you care about what's going on inside of me? And they'll know it when you walk up like a kid knows a mean uncle, right? They backing up, or a dog start barking when you walk in the door. People are on their sixth sense now with, are you real or are you Memorex when it comes down to helping me with my life? And it's not to be played with, where it has been played with, unfortunately, by a lot of different people and institutions over the years. People are now coming out into the light and saying, you know what, that didn't work. You didn't tell me the truth. You didn't really love me.
Right.
You took advantage of my openness and my transparency. And now what I've been told so much lately is people saying things like, not only do I not trust myself, or I don't trust people, and I don't trust myself. Now, that's a bad situation. When you used to just didn't trust somebody, then you can at least move around on your own thought. Now people are saying, I don't even trust myself to even make a decision, because the last time I made a decision, I ended up upside down. And that's right next to all the bottom of hopelessness, for real. So when you go out there, man, if you really care about people and where you want to take them to, then make it all about that. Then the revenue will follow. That's the biggest thing. Lead with your heart first.
Because my thing is, too, it's about finding a genre. Because, there's different genres of life coaching that everybody can fall into. And, I'm not going to go into fitness because, let's face it, I ain't worked on a minute.
Yeah, we know.
But I'm of course my field of business is dealing with bail bonds and dealing with I'm trying to figure out something where I can do that, maybe educate people on how not to get in trouble, and coach people who might be coming out and how to keep them, not to say that I'm the, it's not about, because the one thing you need to learn about being a life coach once you get into it is that you're not better than anybody. It's not that you can have to be better than the person. It's that you could be on the same path with them.
Yeah.
You're just trying to help them themselves.
Along the journey, right.
Yeah.
And that's perfect, and especially by you having a background and seeing the different people going into the prison, coming out of the prison, you bailing them out, you're intimate with those challenges.
Right.
So you can speak directly into their situation, and that will be helpful. You can say, listen, man, I can be sitting there bonding you out in a couple minutes or a couple years or a day or whatever, or I can help you not have to empower this part of my business and trade it off as a preventative versus more reactive, and profit from the side of keeping them out of the prison versus profiting from the side of, on the bond side. So you can transition that, and they need that. And sometimes I'll tell you this, the first time I got in trouble, and this is peeking into a little bit of my, a little transparent here, but first time I had to see you was when I really had a reality check. So the power you have and the power that the institutions have, the first time it was real for me was when I actually was sitting behind a situation looking and waiting on the bondsman to come. You have my ear right then and there. Father, mother, a mentor, a bondsman, say, listen, young brother, I will get you this bond, but I need you to commit to a program. I need you to hear me for 10 minutes, or I'm not taking this bond. Now, you can make a decision, because I already got I can go get a bond anywhere. But I can go get a bond off of another person, speed driving, has got whatever. I can make my money. But if I let you out of here and you're not clear on the path you're on, then you can impact your life so much that our leadership and our African-American young men is greatly impacted. So I got to take a special interest in you. So if you were saying a special genre, I would say young black males. And then you can just be a bondsman for everybody else, but you got to be a savior to them. So when you got that key, that's what you want to talk to them about. You want to, be their life coach. Their parents will pay for it. The government will pay for it sometimes, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, the parent will help, support, and they will, if you couldn't, you don't have to, sometimes you could just do it as an outreach. But there's a lot of value in just being able to help that group right there when you talk about a genre.
And when I speak about the certification, because really there is no real certification that you have to in order to do it, but it's just giving me a blueprint.
The structure,
follow.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And that is good because you are working with someone's life.
Right.
So you should have a structure and accountability to it. And there's a method. You got to know when you've tapped in too far and you need to move somebody into a higher and stronger resource, especially because you're talking about life coaching.
Right.
So you're talking about moving somebody through their life. And if they come into a challenge and you can't handle that challenge, you need to know if this person then just went into some default mode, and you need to, connect them with maybe a counselor or maybe a drug counselor or someone that maybe can help them off a different ledge that you may not have realized that you've cracked open in the process of helping them with their life journey.
And another thing too, because like the certifications to me, I found one that was decent, but you got like people like Tony Gaskins.
Mm-hmm.
He charged $1,500 to take a certification to become a life coach. Right. I felt like that was like too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I wanted to do some type of certification, at least some basic, just to know what I was getting into, because I already had an idea about what it was. But I'm asking because what background did you have just besides talking to people at the church and then moving forward into it? Did you have to go through anything? Did you take any seminar? Did you do anything beyond that to get where you are?
Yeah, well, I more so stay on people consider me a life coach for them.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of more brand myself as a real estate and business coach.
Okay.
Because that's my pedigree is in entrepreneurship since I was 11. My work that I do on a daily basis is really something God gave me. So I haven't really found a certification that can really certify that.
Right.
It's like I see people, I see their pain, I start speaking life into them, and it just converts and transforms them into a different person. And so I haven't really sought out anyone to give me permission or guidance in that. I just get up and do what I do. I don't really charge people for that. Like the lady today, I give away way more than I charge. Mm-hmm. So, I would just say I did go to real estate school.
Right.
I do have 5 years background when it comes down to finance, when it comes to real estate, finances, stuff like that. And then, of course, I ran my business now for 10 years. So I have some things I can really service people with. I did go to college for a little while, but didn't go far in that. But the different classes I've taken along the way, marketing classes, stuff like that, really helped me shape out what to do from a business and real estate standpoint. But by being a real biz coach, I just tell people, look, I was a high school diploma. At best, I barely made it out of there. I'm not the brightest kid in the room when it comes down to those type of things, but I do know my business. I've learned a lot from a lot of mentors like Tony and them. I read a lot of information. I share that information from other experts, and that's really what I hang my hat on. And I always tell people, go back and reference it to the books, or go back and reference it to other certified programs. I don't tell people to hang their hat on what I have to say. I just tell them this is my experience and this was real for me.
So I just got one question, because I've been just engaging in all of this. Y'all three are some very interesting human beings, and I know you guys do a lot of work in the community with the kids. You got your book going on. You helping the young men out. You motivational speaker. How do you guys, after like a long day of fighting and protesting and working, how you wind down? What soothes and relaxes you guys? That's what I want to know.
It's a poison ivy question.
You know it's a poison ivy question. I gotta get to the nitty gritty. I gotta get the people what they really want to know.
I'll tell you off air because my mama is listening.
Okay.
So I'll tell you later.
Okay.
And before we even go into that, we gotta shout out this young lady. Go ahead, shout her out real quick, because this is your people.
This is Robbie. So she's a great host.
The camera right here. Just stick your head in front of the camera.
Good hostess.
She been doing everything for me since when we had the little rolling blackout habit. She was turning unplug and stuff for me.
Right, she's awesome.
She's doing her thing. So shout out to Robbie. Robbie had when I asked you about doing the show, she made sure she had a long discussion with me.
Right.
Robbie was the other person that was there when I first met Miss Cook.
Yes.
And we had a nice long discussion too, and she just had me in the back row like.
Don't meet a stranger.
Oh boy.
So back to your question. You said, what do we do?
So
I'll tell you what I do. What I do is try to stay physically fit. I try to work out, because you got to have that balance.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that balance in your life, you tend to, I really don't try to. I'm never going to be stressed, because I'm never going to speak negative into the existence. But I try to take care of my body. I try to work out. I love listening to jazz.
I was gonna ask you, what do you listen to?
I listen to jazz. Matter of fact, I like any genre of music. I like to MC. I like getting on the mic. Absolutely, I like
get on the mic
I like
too.
some I like Jay-Z.
When that workout get good,
there you go. When that workout get real good to you, got to be Jay-Z.
Well, hold on, because you don't act like you don't go hard.
I go hard. I go hard in the paint. There you go. Absolutely. Yes, I do. You hear me? I'm not good at twerking, so so I can't compete with you guys. But just having that balance and ensuring home is a place of peace. Because I'm in a negative environment every day, but I try to keep it positive. Even when I come home, home is a place of peace. And I love it. Light a good fireplace. Have a couple cocktails.
Right.
I'm still grown at the end of the day, but respectful all at the same time. So that's how I do mine.
What about you, Rick? What do you do?
I relax. I look at movies. A lot of times I get out on the weekends and just go out of town.
What kind of movies you like?
Most of the time I look at action, drama. I'm pretty much any type of movie.
Now, are you one of those people who watch the movie and you like, ooh, get him, kill him, or you
Nah.
just like set up everybody, let's see what's going on?
Yeah, I'm more laid back. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of animation with the movie.
Too?
I'm not in the movie too, but
Okay.
and sometimes I'll just sit back and listen to Enya on Pandora and just let my mind settle down. I listen to Les Brown. Enya.
I know what it is. Just do my.
Oh yeah, man. Enya, I listen to Enya, man. You put me right to peace.
It's like some meditational type.
It sure is.
Yeah,
Yep, I'll put it in my ears. I'll let it calm me down.
Okay.
I'll listen to Les Brown. He's one of my mentors, and we work a lot together. So I listen to him all the time. Yeah, Les Brown. Yeah. So I'll listen to that information. I'll just keep listening to I Am the One over and over, and it's just something about that particular message when he spoke in front of those 80,000 people. It is such a powerful message. I'll just keep listening to it. Reminds me of the work, and I don't get burnt out in the work that I'm doing. Only when people are not receiving it. But when I'm doing it, it just gives me so much energy. It's like, if you're in your purpose, you never work a day in your life. Right. They mean that. So when I'm sitting there and I'm helping these people, when I go home, I'm just charged and relaxed because the next day I get to get up and do it again. So I told somebody the other day, I said, it's so important that you allow me to help you, because when I'm helping you, I'm doing what God has given me purpose to do, and that keeps me from having to go home unfulfilled. I feel like he only has me on this earth to do that. So I have so much energy to help people that relaxing is when I'm helping somebody.
Right.
And when I'm not helping somebody, I'm tense.
So I have one question before I go to my other question. So when y'all
Then you got more than one question.
She said I got one question before I go to my other question. But I got two questions.
This one is not a real serious question, but
I got
when
one
y'all was
question.
out down in Cancun, it wasn't a horror story being with him.
No, D was a really good guy.
That wasn't
Wait,
that
hold on.
movie?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Did he have this
Wait.
stomach?
Let me tell you. I don't know the stomach. Let me just wait. We were going through the metal detector.
His stomach went off.
No.
Don't talk
Dean
about
had to
stomachs,
go
Candace.
back. He had to keep going back through the metal detector, taking off all these necklaces.
Oh my
I had
And
I had chains and stuff. I had
It
rings
was
and
so
rings.
funny because he had to keep going back through, and every time he went through, it was another set of jewelry.
Like that commercial.
I swear, it was the funniest thing ever. I laughed the whole trip and back because of how many times he had to go back and forth. But it was quite funny though to see him going back and forth through that. But,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
a
We used to
pain.
go to Cancun every single
But
year.
when I came back though, you see everything was in my pocket. I just went
Right.
one thing.
Right, that
I'm not
was
doing this shit.
hilarious. we had a really good time, but that was even then. You know, we were only in our early 30s, but
Yeah.
we were traveling 4 times a year. We was at Essence Essence Festival,
Yeah, the Essence Festival, Vegas.
Vegas,
A lot.
and then Orlando, Florida.
Oh,
We had a
yeah.
little
Oh,
house
yeah,
down
yeah,
there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then Cancun in our 30s.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know what I mean? And that was something that early, I'm like 31, 32, but we were making money and helping people at the same time. It just wasn't totally in the total alignment of the purpose, but on one end it was because we were still empowering people, putting them into real estate, but we just didn't know we were in purpose. We didn't know how powerful real estate was as a tool.
And I was just
we
getting
just knew
started
how
then.
much
I
it
was
was
still working at
making money.
T-Mobile at that
You sure
time.
was. Yep, you
Right.
sure was. And then was Vet over there with us?
Yeah, Vet. That's why. Because that's why I knew y'all through her.
Yeah,
I
yep,
met
and
all
then
y'all
Nikki and
through her.
them. But it was so huge to see Tony and them, and he was Tony was what he was doing a couple million dollars as 34-year-old African American.
Yeah.
So that helped me.
Tony was like 40.
No, he wasn't.
Tony old.
I was 30. I was
I'm 44 now. How old is Tony?
No, I came in. I was
Tony
30.
called in and tell him off.
Yeah, Tony was only like 4 or 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was the first time for me to see an African American doing a couple $1 million a year and had 17 employees,
$800,000 house.
That was inspiring, and he was on the right side of the road.
Right.
He didn't have a
And he was
background.
still a real dude.
Yes.
You almost could say a real nigga.
He was good, and he was the one that showed me that there was such a difference between, because I used to wear dress up clothes. I didn't know that there was a difference because my childhood was a little bit different. So I didn't know that there was a difference of slacks versus dress pants,
Right.
like clothes that you wear to the Mirage.
Right.
So I'm out going out making mortgage calls in some Mirage clothes. I'm sitting there like, he like, LARICK. He
It's a
said-
difference, yeah.
I had on this little studded shirt and
the big collar. Right.
I was
That's
tripping.
shoulder to shoulder.
They was like, "Oh, he clean." I didn't. A casket shot. I did not realize that there was actual. I just didn't know, and so he helped me to see that, and slacks and little button ups, and
He helped you with your dress code.
he sure helped me with my dress code and my mindset, and he taught me about straddling the fence because I had different people in the neighborhood that I was still kind of connected to from back in the day, and then I had this professional life and I couldn't get going. Right. And the most valuable thing he said, LARICK, you can't move anywhere when you straddle on the fence. You have to choose a side.
Yeah.
And when he said that, it just made the world a difference, and I ended up getting on the side of. And started boating, and after that, it was just, it was just no looking.
He said it was funny.
So,
Tony, how old was you then? Call back in.
I'm telling you, Tone was 35.
Tone
man.
was like, because Tone said, I just got started when I was 40. I remember that we had that conversation. Tone was like 40 something.
Man, Tone was 40.
How do you now, Tone? He go.
Watch, I'm 45. He gonna be like
I'm
5 years
44.
older than me.
I'm telling you, he was 41.
Man, Tone is only gonna be 5 years older than us.
So if you 45, I'm 44. What's 5 years older?
Yeah, and
Right
so,
now.
but back what?
He said 19.
No, I had got into the mortgage business when I was 30 years old.
Right.
And Tony was 5 years older, so he's 35.
But I came later though. I was never when you first started.
Well, yeah, around
Yeah,
then.
so
he
I
was
came
around
like
that
at
age.
least. He said he 51 now.
Yeah, so I'm 45, 6 years.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's about right.
So by the
5,
time I
6.
came around, he was 41.
Yeah, I mean that may
Yeah,
be.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
No, you still came around earlier than that because
I
we
did.
went to Cancun a few times before.
Right.
So he would have had to be somewhere around. Let's see, 35. Yeah, about 37,
Okay,
38.
it was around
Yeah, he was a young guy. That was
Yeah.
what was so impressive, is that he wasn't that old, but he was.
Yeah, that's true. Because I got
Married.
married when I was 30. So,
Yeah.
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 So the one thing that I wanted to ask you, and I wanted to thank you also, because I didn't know nothing about Les Brown until I was in the Nehemiah Project,
Mm-hmm.
and I was real heavy on Eric Thomas, Dr. Eric Thomas. My
Yep.
apologies. So it was just like I heard both of them talking, and their background history really made me kind of think they knew each other because they have very similar backgrounds. So I wanted to thank you for that, but I wanted to thank all of you as the guests to say thank you for being so transparent. You know, because it's a lot of viewers and people that really don't see another side to entrepreneurship. They see the glitz, the glams, but they don't know the real struggle behind it. I'm gonna hit you in your eye. And I'm gonna glam that, make it look like a.
I've been hitting him in his other eye. Yeah.
It took her a while to struggle through that sentence too. I'm a.
Well, at least you got people that way tonight.
Huh?
You did do that.
At least I'm proud of you.
I'm still worried about. I'm still worried about you because your English and diction is disgusting and deplorable. So Cookie.
Anywho, I just
So,
wanted
Cookie.
to say
Yes.
thank you for being transparent because for he sometimes who have not know us.
You better
he
tell him.
sometimes who will
You
not
better
know
tell
us.
him.
For he sometimes who not know us.
But he who
Sometimes not
who
know
know
us.
it.
What's the rest?
Will get your ass whooped.
See? Yeah.
So if you
Hilarious.
guys,
She trying to get that high five and ain't nobody give her the way. Oh. So Cookie.
Listen, don't play with me.
he said
Right, it was on live too. It was on live too. Everybody saw it. She just had her hand out like.
said
She
he
just
was
like this.
Because I didn't
Nope.
see.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. Nobody love you. Nobody love you.
So I got
You get one of these.
You had that mark out there so you can play it for
You mean what you need to do?
Get your dumb ass down.
Don't laugh at him.
That's
That's
hilarious.
not funny.
right. There you go.
A cookie.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So, if I take you to the court right now,
she
we
gonna
play
sit
one-on-one.
your dumb
Okay.
ass down.
Now I got bad knees, and I used to. My J is killer though. I ain't gotta move. I just hit. How many points you think I'm gonna beat you by? Notice I ain't give you a chance to say how. If you go, how many
That's
points do
okay.
you think
That's
I
all
will
right.
beat you by?
That's all right. I hear guys say this every day. We'll go to 10. I'll give you 9.
Wow.
That just means I'm confident in my ability.
Right.
That's all.
That
I'm
means
not
she
being
gonna
cocky,
sit your dumb ass
and I'm not.
down.
And I'm not being cocky by no means.
How often do you hit the court now?
Every day,
Every day.
every single day.
Still working it out.
Yeah.
Well, I need you to teach me how to shoot a basket. I was at the rec Saturday trying to play with kids.
And what did it look
And
like?
they kept calling me Shaq.
She
That's
said,
okay.
"What did it look
And
like?"
that's okay. That's all right.
Right.
There you go, Shaq. Look,
My son was like, get off the court,
Shaq.
Shaq.
Oh. But you know what? But seriously,
I got
you
people
know.
here saying, "Say that, Cookie."
Right? No, I'm not. I'm a humble human being because the way you get it is the way you lose it.
Right,
You gotta be
exactly.
careful. But what I try to do is just, have fun with it. I'm really not a talkative type person when it comes to my career, what I do. I just try to lead by example. But anyway, we're having fun tonight. And again, I appreciate you guys just inviting me here. But I always like to just give back. But I just want to shout out to all the women basketball players. I don't care what grade you in. Understand something. You can make a great living playing basketball. I got a great education playing basketball. And I'm telling you, the sky is the limit. And I just want all my young females out here in Cleveland continue to strive for greatness. And guess what? Whatever you put in, I always say this, is what you'll get out. So
Time on that one, right?
there you go.
So could you guys see yourself doing anything else? Like if you were not a basketball star, if you did not get into the thing with the kids, if you didn't do the daycare, if you didn't write books, wasn't speaking life. Was it anything else you can see yourself doing? I'm asking this question because I'm an entertainer and I really don't have a plan B. Like it's either this or nothing, because this is what makes me happy. So is there anything else that you can honestly say you would be fulfilled doing? I could say kids though. I could do daycare. I did daycare for 4 years and I loved it.
I need you because I'm opening the building, so I need you.
Yeah, I did. So I could say if I wasn't an artist, I probably would. But I would be big in it. Like I would have a chain of daycares. You know what I'm saying? Because that was fun for me. I found passion in that. But
Poison Ivy's kid care.
Whatever. Is there anything else that you guys would take interest in if you didn't do what you did?
Radio personality.
Sports
Sports commentator.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love it.
I can see that.
Absolutely.
I
love it.
Yeah.
And excuse my dress because I came casual. And normally I dress up.
Yeah,
every day
she
for
really
work.
do though. She really do.
Every day for work. So, but I can see myself working alongside of you guys. So this is a blessing.
That's
or ESPN. So that's what I want to do.
What about
funny thing
you,
that
Ivy?
she say that though, just to not to cut off. Hold on, I'm just saying it. This is what I actually went to school for.
That's dope.
I actually went to school for communications. I wanted to always be on the radio and never took into that. And I did a little radio in college, but I never really hater. But I had to. Now that I have the capability to do it myself, and internet native radio makes it so easy. So I'm glad I could fall back into it. But
so, Ivy, is there anything else you can see yourself doing outside of
Honestly,
writing?
no. And it's so funny you asked me that because earlier today I posted because I had to do a training, mandatory training for the child care. So my mom came in and taught the kids, and I was only gone 3 hours. And when I came back, one of my daycare kids woke up and she came and sat on my lap and she was like, "I missed you when you was gone."
I bet she did.
And that just let me know because I didn't want to go to the training, and I was sitting there like ADHD. I'm sitting there like, man. Then I start thinking about like, I'm about to write this in the book. I'm about to write this instead of paying attention. And then I had to make myself focus. But when I came back, she was like, "I missed you." Like I was gone a long time for her. Yeah. So that it was like, and I put on my status like that's confirmation I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. For her to just miss me in those couple hours, and she had fun with my mom. Because I'm like, "Did you do something with Mom?" She's like, "No, I had fun." She's like, "I just missed you." So it was like I've always known I was supposed to be doing this since I was a kid. I used to do it in child care in the church with the little kids. I just love.
You just have
children.
a nurturing spirit about
I
you.
do. I love taking care of people. All my friends can tell you I will take care of them no matter what it is. If they sick, I'll stop whatever I'm doing just to take care of them. I just love taking care of people. So, and kids kind of make my day just go.
I was such a crier. I cried.
When I come over, you make me get my own stuff.
Girl, I be wore out by the time I get there.
What about you, LARICK? Could you see yourself doing anything else?
Ministry full time. I would love to, if I just had to do it all over again, I knew more about what I am now, I would just be doing something I have to do with speaking into people's life all the time and not necessarily building the businesses and building the real estate. And I would just let that be for those people that deal with that. And I would just go out and just speaking to people all day. I don't want to do anything else.
And you know what? That is kind of, it's not a surprise, but I can see you doing that. I can really see you doing that.
Yep. That's what I'm going toward. Little by little, he's.
Because you got this tone the way you talk, and you're like I can see you like, yeah, I could. Like we was in Cancun, and he the only one that knew how to ask for how much it cost. He in the Cancun like Quanto.
My little bit of Spanish.
Right.
Now, did you know?
I don't know what he talking about for real.
Did you know that he was going to be this in the Cancun
No, I
days?
didn't know that. I knew he just was doing real estate. They was making money. I'm just like, okay, I'm slanging cell phones at the time.
He was the first one talking about shot.
I was making $60 a year selling cell phones at T-Mobile and Verizon, so I was good.
Right.
But yeah, they was down there, balling out and shit. I'm just newly married.
Right.
But it was different. It was cool.
So do you all have any advice for the viewers that are pursuing entrepreneurship or anything that you could give them guidance on or words of advice?
You want to start?
I would just say, stand on your faith, whatever you believe in, whatever you want to accomplish, you can accomplish. Don't get discouraged. And be careful who you have in your space, because sometimes you'll have negative people when you're spacing, it gets you off track and off kilter. So just stay focused. Whatever business or whatever area you want to go into, anything's possible. And stay prayed up.
And watch who you let pray.
Watch who
into
you
your
let
life.
and watch who you let pray over you. You know, so that's the advice that I will give anybody.
We got Ivy over here about to turn into a marshmallow.
I done burned myself on my zipper. Like, I'm like,
Yes, help her, Jesus, help her.
a little bit of
Oh, Lord, we got girl up in the dough. We ain't never had nobody sweating up in the dough.
I'm sitting right here next to her like, oh, I'm trying to get close to her. I'm about to sit on her lap in a minute.
He's like, I'm out of here.
No, you ain't gonna do it. It'll stay open.
It's like, it's literally
It's
right
open.
on me. I'm like, whoo. Woo, and I take iron pills.
Yeah, girl.
I'm like, oh,
So
Lord.
did you have maybe like a future menopause moment you feel like you could have been?
I probably had, girl. I don't know.
She earned that one honestly from that heater.
Woo. I was sitting here. I was getting hot though, and I kept moving over like. And she looking at me like, "Oh, you want the mic? No, baby, I want to sit on you. I'm hot."
Unfortunately, it looked good in here, but it is a small space, and you got to strategically
I
plug
was
stuff
sitting
in here
down.
because
I
there's
feel
a lot
good
of
now. The
electronics
air is
going on.
hitting me now. I'm like, oh God. Okay.
But I do want to say one thing towards that question about entrepreneurs, being that I kind of am an entrepreneur. One thing an entrepreneur should always focus on too is not putting their hands in too many things at one time.
So that's so
where
true.
it splits you up.
And consistency.
You got to stay consistent. If
No,
you're gonna
and-
do something, focus on that, and you have to be about that thing you are trying to do.
Have a passion for it.
Yeah, you can't just feel like, oh, well, I'm gonna just do it just because it make money. No,
Right.
I mean, you have to really do it.
And that's what, cause one of my best friends, she taught me everything I know about childcare, and they have a successful, her family, they run a successful childcare, Bright Star Childcare. So if you in Garfield, that's my family. That's where I come from. They taught me everything I know, and it's so funny because the principles that her mom had set for the daycare, when I went to training today, that is now mandatory rules. And her mom was ahead of the game, and I was texting her like, your mom's amazing because this is stuff your mother made us do just because she felt like this is how it should be done, and now it's a mandatory rule. So
I'm sorry for
Yeah.
sweating you out over there.
it's cool. It's cool.
'Cause you
It's
got
cool.
like moisture all around your
I
neck.
know. I'm all hot. I'm like, God. But we were talking about it today. How it's so many people in it just for money. Like they're not doing it because this is what they love to
I
do.
hate that.
Well, and that's why daycares have bad reputations right now because they're doing it because just for the money and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and then these kids are getting hurt. They hiring whoever. So now they're gonna weed all that out, and they're putting so many different rules into place and they basically told you that if you don't step up and do these rules, you might as well retire.
And Tony
So-
Johnson once again on Facebook. Never straddle the fence. Focus on the one thing first.
Yeah, and if it's something you really love doing, it's not going to come easy. You're gonna be broke. Cause I remember it's so crazy when I first started my child care, I made $115 a week. I almost lost my house. I had evictions, all kind of stuff. Like Candace helped me get my credit together, everything, just from me starting my business. Like it wasn't because I was irresponsible. It was just because I took everything I had and dumped it into starting my business. And I wanted to give up so many times, and I'm in my 6th year now, and now I'm making over $70,000 a year. But I started off making $10,000 a year. But if I would have gave up that 2nd year, which I went from 10 to 20, you know what I mean? So it was like getting there. You got to be consistent. Yes, but people don't see that. They see like, oh, you just work at home, so it's easy. It's not easy. It's a grind. No matter what you do, it's a grind. My books was a grind. I was just blessed that people was willing to take the time to read my book and tell somebody else about it.
Typically, how long does it take you to write a book?
Me, Juicy Detective, part 1 took a year. Supreme Reigns. You guys know who Preem is? Preem DBIC.
Yeah, I went to school with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my ex-boo.
It is awesome. He is
Yeah,
awesome.
that's my dog. We real cool still. But I wrote Supreme Reigns. That's his story.
Okay.
So if you want one of those, I'll bring you one.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's his story. I wrote his story. That took me, I think, it took me a year. It probably took a year because it took Preem forever to edit it. So it probably took us a year to finish that book. But I took all his music and did a story out of, his music and his life or whatever. We created a story and we did that. And then Juicy Deception 2 took me 9 months. The book I'm writing now is taking me longer because I see my growth as a writer. If you read part 1 and read part 2 to that book, you'll see my growth. You see how thick that one is. Like, I took every criticism everybody gave me, good, bad, and then I did better. Like, my grandfather is 88 years old, and he read part 1 of that book 3 times. I didn't want him reading that book. I'm like, why are you reading it? He like, what you give it to me for? Like, the book is ratchet.
How you come up with the cover?
Are these my lips?
No.
No, but everybody thinks it is because my publicist / best friend, she told the girl she wanted the book to look as close to my lips as possible. So people like, that is your lips. I'm like, no, it's not. But no, it's not mine. You asked me that before, didn't you?
We on the radio. They don't know that.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. You were going to say you knew it wasn't my lips, girl.
LARICK, what was your advice as far as to up and coming entrepreneurs who are looking to get into to build a business? What was your tip?
Mainly to Tony's point, finding what you love first, and focusing on that, what you're good at, supporting what you love, and just driving it and not giving up on whatever that is. Just staying focused, never giving up, just driving. Because sometimes you'll learn, like even on this journey, it turned a couple times before it got back on the path, but I just was not going to give up on helping people and empowering them with information. So on your journey to your entrepreneurial end, a lot of times it's going to go off course. And I always give people, when I'm coaching them, I'll give them the example of how the rocket ship, when it leaves the earth and it goes to the moon, 90% of the time is off course. It's only on course 5% when it leave, 5% when it land. Right. So your vision won't stay on course the whole time, but if you stay the course, you'll land right on top of what it is that you're supposed to be. And most people that went on to be successful as an entrepreneur are not doing exactly what they thought they were going to be doing when they took off. So that's another thing, is like, don't be wedded to the outcome. Just be wedded to, to get, again, this, when you're tied to your purpose and what you're skillful at, then the outcomes will manifest, a little bit. They'll manifest exactly what they're supposed to be. So don't be like, oh man, I gotta be this or I failed. Because if I thought I was supposed to be this real estate guru, then I failed.
Now, do you have children?
I do. I have 2.
How old are they?
24 and 17. 24-year-old son and 17-year-old daughter.
So are you like dad, or are you like motivation?
I'm both. They're motivation to me because they're, they both are entrepreneurs. Even though my daughter's 17, she's always creating and selling things without, me inspiring her to do that. And, my son, he started his own business. So, and I actually have through my, girlfriend, I have 2 children as well. And they're coming down the same path. They have these creative minds and things of that nature.
That's actually good. Everybody's following suit. That's actually
good. Yeah, everybody's following suit, and they follow through the lead. So, and so I'm both. I'll be the structure and saying this is what you need to do in life and things of that nature. But when they come and say, hey, we want to start our business, then, I help set my son's business up. And, he's so excited about it. He's driving, and I'm, in full support of that. My daughter, she's in school, but she's really, she's 3.7, 3.8 grade point average in High Tech Academy, just did her cotillion. But at the same time, she has the entrepreneurial side. She wants to be an engineer, but she also has the entrepreneurial side. So I kind of balance both. I don't make her choose, and I don't make them go my way because I'm an entrepreneur. I just kind of let them find their own way.
That goes back to what Miss Cookie said, though. You get back what you put out.
Yep.
I guess you're putting out the right energy for your kids to all follow suit like that. That's
right.
We've fallen into the last 4 minutes of the show, so I want to make sure that we give everybody a chance to shoot out their information, because people need to get this information from y'all, and we need to know where to find it. So we're going to start with LARICK. Shoot out all your information so people know how to get in touch with you.
All right. I guess the easiest way is on Facebook, and it's Real Biz Coach, or you can say The Real Biz Coach. You'll find my page on there, and you can just link with me on there, and that's the easiest way. And those that's in Cleveland, I have a business center right on the corner of 139th and Kinsman, and then the corner of Shaker Boulevard, the Flawless Barber School. That's our Beauty and Barber Empowerment Center. So you can come to either one of those if you're just in the neighborhood and want to kind of connect with me. Somebody will connect you.
And how do you spell biz?
B-I-Z. So Real, R-E-A-L, B-I-Z. That's a good question. Coach.
A lot of ways, D.
No, it could be spelled a couple of. I appreciate that.
Right, it could have been B-I-Z.
It's R-E-A-L-B-I-Z, Coach, C-O-A-C-H, or The Real Biz Coach. And it's therealbizcoach.com is the website.
Realbizcoach.com.
But at the end of the day, some people on Facebook may not know the difference.
That was a valid question.
This or biz.
I just wanted to make sure that. I just thought it was funny. Go ahead, Cookie.
And you don't know how it sounded on their end.
On Facebook, it obviously is Cheryl Cook, CHERYL Instagram, Robin Cook. My email is cookcheryl24@yahoo.com. So also state of Ohio, you can reach me on Green Road, 4321 Green Road. You can come visit. You can come take a tour of the prison. You see what we're doing. We're doing a lot of great things for these young male offenders. So they're just typical kids, made wrong turns, and come visit.
I have a Scare Straight program?
Well, we used to have one, and they took it out of the facility, but I think we're beyond Scare Straight right now.
Yeah.
I think we need to start in the homes instead of starting in prison.
That's right. Now,
That's
how
all
do you
I got.
spell Robin for Instagram?
ROB, the letter N, COOK, Robin Cook.
See, that was a valid one. That one.
Right.
Now, go ahead, Miss Ivy.
Okay. Instagram at _Ivy Lee, IVYLEE. Facebook, I have an author Ivy Lee page, and my personal page is Ivy Lee.
How you spell that?
Oh,
THA.
Should
No,
say
I'm just
how you
playing.
spell IV. So no one spells
It's
IVE.
IVY because people always put Ivory.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
spell IV.
I spell it I.B.
Still IV.
No.
yeah, mine is IVY.
Shoot up.
Right, how you spell that? Capital D.
Now,
You walk
shoot out
into
your
that,
information.
Candace. You walk right into that one.
Right.
You don't need to spell your name right. Go ahead and shoot your information out.
Candace Johnson on Facebook, CANDIS Johnson. Candace _the credit _Shero on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Business page, Candace the Credit Shero, or 216-240-6644.
Go ahead, Poison. Do your thing.
It's just Poison Ivy everything. POIZON IV. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even though I'm not on it all like that, but it's just Poison Ivy everything.
I'd like to thank all of our guests for coming through.
Yes.
LARICK Calhoun,
Thank you for having
Cheryl
us.
Cook, Cookie,
Cookie.
and
Yes.
Ivy Lee. It's been a pleasure having y'all. It's been a very interesting show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for all that you've done for
Yes.
us tonight. We appreciate
Oh, yeah, thank you.
The hostess for the mostest. The hostess.
She did everything today.
The hostess for the mostest.
We need you every Thursday. We need you every Thursday.
You have tuned into the hottest radio show on the internet. You are talking to the one and only Mr. D.